Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? We are finally going to be testing out the new Indigo Ink palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. This is an interesting one because I feel like the cover and everything doesn't necessarily match what is happening inside. There's only like one true indigo shade and it's kind of just got some random pops. So I feel like from what I've heard, this has been the least loved color story from Menagerie yet. I know personally I forgot the launch time. I went on like an hour and a half later and it was still available, which never happens with Menagerie. And I just saw a lot of people saying that this was their weirdest color story yet, which I mean, I guess I kind of agree, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of pretty in its own right. And some of the pops I feel like just make this a little bit more dimensional and not just like a one-tone palette. So I mean, I still bought it, obviously, and I think it's cute, and I'm curious to try it. I feel like this shade right here and this shade right here are both really calling to me. Shell Yeah looks like such a pretty shade. The chartreuse, I love having that pop, so there's a lot of different things in here that are appealing to me, but we're just gonna have to go ahead, do some swatches, do an eye look, see how we feel about it, and I'll kind of give you my thoughts at the end. We're gonna start off with Shell Yeah, which looks so pretty. Looks like a duochrome. It kind of has like an orangey pinky base with a really beautiful gold shift. Touching it, oh yeah, and it has like, it goes from like straight up orange to like a true pink. That's almost, I don't know, borderline multi-chrome territory. It looks super pretty. It's a little bit chunky to the touch, but not super bad. Next we have Small Spaces, which looks really pretty. It's just a very light, kind of pale green. We've got Giant Pacific, which again, it's smoother to the touch, but still has just a tiny bit of chunkiness to it, which is kind of on par for Menagerie's metallics. But this one is a really beautiful indigo. It's got a purple base with a blue shift. Oh yeah, Shell Yeah is so pretty. All right, next we have a matte here called Ink Blot, which just looks like a pretty deep navy. We've got Nori, which is such a bright chartreuse. We live, we stand. We've got Squid Pro Quo, which looks like another duochrome. So this one actually looks pretty interesting because it's kind of like your typical orange to green shift, but in a different way, because the orange is just very coppery, a little bit deeper. The green is just super electric. Like I feel like it's just like a grungier version. Like that one actually looks really unique. Oh, that chartreuse looks so good. Okay, next we've got Tide Pool, which is another kind of light pastel blue, but this one is a little bit more of like an ocean kind of blue, like giving me Florida beach vibes. We've got Pygmy, which is just a very bright, looks like a true red. That's actually pretty nice. I don't know that I love it with this color story, but I like the tone of it. And then we got Ink Floyd, which is a pinky coral. That one, I don't know if you could tell from when I picked it up, is a little bit more like super soft in the pan. Next we've got Chromatosphere, which feels actually super, super smooth. And it's just like a purple base with a greeny blue flip, and the purple is kind of like a blackened purple. Super, super pretty. We've got Ink Defense, which I was the most excited about. This one again, it's a little bit chunky but smooth at the same time. Kind of weird to describe, but look at that shift. It's just such a pretty kind of like berry purple base that shifts blue. And then we've got Inky Torpedo, which like I said is pretty much a true indigo matte, but again, that one feels super, super soft. I honestly don't even know what direction to go with this look because all of the shimmers are so pretty. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm feeling some good vibes right now. I think this is so cute. I love the different textures. I love the different shades. Like, I'm wondering if like maybe this was just a little overlooked. Like maybe if the color story had been like arranged differently or something. I don't know. I think it's actually super cute. I like the thought process going on here. I think it's very creative, even if it doesn't perfectly match the packaging. So there's all the swatches up close. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the shade Tide Pool, and I'm gonna use that as my transition shade. Oh wow. I feel like that looks less pastel on my eyes than it did swatched out and in the pan and everything. Seems to be blending pretty easily right away. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. I think that looks really cute. Like I said, it has more impact on the eyes than I was expecting. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Inky Torpedo now, which seems to match my nails pretty perfectly. So I'm picking up just a little tiny bit because I'm, you know, obviously doing a very colorful look, but I'm gonna try and keep it on the like tamed down side at the same time and just kind of keep it as light as I can. Just like a very everyday Thursday, gotta run errands kind of look, you know? So just gonna go ahead and focus that on my outer V and just lightly blend it out. But I'm not trying to go into a ton of product. I'm already feeling like I don't even know how I'm gonna make time for it, but I wanna do a 3 looks with this palette just because I actually think it's so inspiring. And it's kind of funny because I bought it because it's Menagerie and normally you guys like to see me review their palettes, and I was kind of just like whatever about the color story. Like I wasn't like one way or the other, but then seeing it in person I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely pretty. But I kind of sat on it a little bit. Like it's been here for a few weeks and I haven't filmed with it yet, and then like just after swatching it I'm like, wow, this is actually so pretty. Like what am I even doing? So yeah, I just really feel inspired. I think it helps too that these last few weeks I've been doing more and more colorful looks again. I'm in my feels about this color story apparently. But I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead now and go into just a tiny, tiny little touch of ink blot just to try it. But again, just being pretty careful and throwing that in my outer V. I'll have to do more looks with this so you can see this shade a little bit more because right now it's not making that much of a difference. It added just a touch more depth, but that's about it. But again, just kind of working that in circular motions. I'm also gonna take just a touch of ink blot on a little pencil brush and connect to the lower lash line. But I'm thinking I wanna do like a pop of green on the lower lash line. I'm kind of undecided. I'm like, there's just so many shimmers. I kind of want to go in with this one on the lower lash line and then maybe do something with the Nori shade. But I don't know if I should put Nori on the inner corner. I'm kind of feeling like a neutral inner corner, like I might pull for something else. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to start off with Squid Pro Quo. Just throw that along the lower lash line. Oh my goodness, I love that shade. I think that would look so pretty with the warm tones in this palette too. Just blending that out. And then wiping off that brush, and I think on the very front I'm going to go into Nori and just pop that right here. Just for a pop of chartreuse. So for my lid, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go into Ink Defense. It's just so pretty. I can't contain myself. Just picking that up on a brush, but I don't think it's picking up that well. I mean, I guess that kind of picked up the sparkles, but not super impressive. I kind of want to go in with the glitter glue. Let me just try that. I think that'll help because I really don't want to get fallout, and I was kind of just wanting to use a brush. I don't know. I'm just going to grab the NYX glitter primer. Just go in with a touch of that, and I'm going to throw that on the front of my lid. And just give that a moment to get tacky. All right, let's try Ink Defense again. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. That is so pretty. I feel like all the palette releases from Menagerie this year like keep getting better. And it almost, I mean, I feel like you can tell they're working on their shimmers to make them better. which I appreciate because I think this is so cute. So to finish off this look, I'm grabbing the Nessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 3 palette because I want to test it out further. And I think today I'm going to take this shade right here called Golden Eclipse and throw that on the inner corner just to add a little bit of sparkle. Really quick, I'm going to go into the Linda Hallberg Cool Mood Pencil just to add a little more pop of blue on the waterline, throw on the Makeup Geek Mascara, and I'll be right back. For blush, I'm grabbing the Colorete Blush Trio from Alamar in the shade Fair Light, and I'm going to use this shade right here called Romantica, which is a little bit like a neutral, warm shade. I'm just going to throw that on the tops of my cheekbones. I feel like I need to go in with an intense highlighter because I'm wearing my dewy sweatshirt. This was Julia Mazzucato's merch, which she doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, unfortunately, but I pulled this out and I was just like, I hope she's doing well, and now I need to be dewy today. Like, I have no choice but to be dewy. I'm gonna go into the Beauty Bay highlighter in the shade Flash, which has been a recent favorite for me. Apply that pretty generously. And then for lips, I'm gonna go into the Jouer Lip Balm in the shade Amaryllis. Alright y'all, so this is the finished look and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I feel like the palette, even though I did something super basic today, is so fun. The mattes all blended super easy. The shimmers actually impressed me, which I don't always say for Menagerie, but I feel like the shade all over the lid is beautiful and there's just so many textures in there, like the shade I put on the lower lash line. I cannot wait to put that on my lid next. So let me know if you guys want to see a 3 looks video. I'm going to try and film it because I'm just super inspired. And honestly, I'm just glad that I did not sleep on this palette. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!